When creating the maps in Portal 2, the developers did a fantastic job of building puzzles in order to guide the player while at the same time making the world feel very immersive through its environment. You can see it all over the place. Piles of rubble and decaying materials, big pipes connecting all throughout the facility, or walls tearing away in destruction. The routes people have discovered due to these environments and gameplay features are aligned so nicely that it's sometimes crazy to think that it wasn't intentional. One example of this is Cave Johnson, the third map in Chapter 6 of Portal 2's single-player campaign, and its route in the speedrun, alongside many other maps, is perfect. Too perfect. Let me explain. In casual play, the main route consists of the following. The player walks down this long catwalk, portaling through a broken door, leading the player into a large room where they hear Cave Johnson for the first time.
Astronauts, war heroes, Olympians, you're here because we want the best.
They then must perform a fling in order to progress, making their way through a lobby which leads to the tower seen earlier in the level. Within the tower lies an elevator which the player takes to the top, and from here the player must perform a fling using the height of the elevator shaft as a means of gaining momentum. Once the fling is complete, the player then enters the gel room, pulls the lever to start the machinery, then they can make their way to the elevator to end the level. It's a pretty fantastic level and very memorable for many because of Cave Johnson's great dialogue in the ominous environment. The route for the game's speedrun, however, is a different story. Here's how the route works. The goal is to make your way up to the edge of this catwalk, and by doing so, allows you to just barely see a portal surface that's meant to be accessed later in the level. With some effort, you can land a portal on it, then do something called a portal stand in order to make it near the top of the tower. The plan is to take advantage of something called scripted momentum, an intended game mechanic which guarantees the player landing in the same spot after doing a fling as long as the player is within a certain speed threshold. However, it's been discovered that by placing a portal in a specific spot, generally under this blue sign, and literally just holding W, this happens. Yep, just clears the gap. Now you can just go into the gel room, pull the lever, and then finish the level. Neat, right? Now you might be wondering why the scripted momentum activates even though we aren't doing a fling. We are literally just walking into the portal. The reason it works is due to something called FSPB, activating the scripted momentum. It's pretty complicated even for my goo goo gaga brain, but the TLDR of this is that in specific circumstances, the position of the portal allows you to physically step off the catwalk onto the portal floor on the same frame that you enter it, which due to weirdness in the movement code, gives you an absurd amount of velocity, activating the momentum trigger. With all that combined, this whole route bypasses entire chunks of the map. It's just crazy to me how all of that just aligns together so nicely. Like the fact that the developers made this massive wall a portal surface that extends all the way to the floor, and the fact that the conditions are just right that the scripted momentum boost works at all is insane. Yeah, well, what if I told you that there's something more to this? Something even more absurd. Hey, look at that. There's a pipe above the door. Introducing the reportal. When standing in a portal then shooting the opposite color, the game forces you out by giving you 200 units of velocity in order to prevent the player from reaching unintended locations. If you recall earlier, by doing a portal stand, we had to counteract this 200 velocity boost by tapping S to move backwards to stay inside the portal. Combining this small burst of speed alongside the scripted momentum boost, you can guess where we end up landing. Due to the pipe's curvature, we can time a jump input on the side of the pipe, allowing us to land perfectly at the end of the catwalk. Despite being called Cave Johnson, due to this route, we never actually hear him at all. It's just the cherry on top, isn't it? The fact that the pipe is there, the fact that the catwalk extends just far enough for the player to land on for this route is so strangely perfect, isn't it? As cool as that is, this is just one of many examples throughout the game where this phenomenon takes place, and some of them are even more absurd than this. Let's rewind to Chapter 1 for a moment and look at the map's secret panel. This map mainly consists of a cutscene where you finally reunite with Wheatley after you found the portal gun.
Brilliant! You did find a portal gun. Oh,
After talking for a minute, you make your way through a passage that Wheatley opens and finally walk through some catwalks that lead to the end of the level. For the speedrun, however, the current route that is used is one of the most perfect sequences in the run. To understand why, I'm going to bring this door to your attention. Now you can find this door all throughout the game, but what makes it special is that there actually exists a very small gap near the top of the door model. How small, you ask? Not only that, but there just so happens to be a portal surface behind this door. I'm not even sure why it's there because in casual play, you make your way over here while holding Wheatley, and since you can't drop him, you can't even use the portal gun. Now you may be thinking, there's a portal surface right in front of the door. Can't you just portal to it and let the door open for you? The issue with this is that the door just will not open unless you have Wheatley with you. And to get Wheatley, you have to sit through his cutscene. Regardless, using the information we have now, the main goal is to find a way to shoot a portal through the gap in the door, right? The issue is that since the door is so far away, the shot becomes even more difficult to land. And it's not like there's a perfectly placed platform just sitting there. Oh. With specific coordinates using the command CL_show_pause, the shot becomes very doable, needing to look at, and get this, right at 0.00 on the y-axis in order to land this shot. Like you can't even make this up, dude. Like this little brick is just at the perfect height for this to be possible. This shot can be done consistently, and once performed saves about a minute of sitting through Wheatley's ramblings. You see what I'm saying though, right? Like how is something like this even possible? There's zero chance that this was intentional at all, but the way that things just work out perfectly like this is so bizarre. The next map that I want to talk about is Neurotoxicity Sabotage, the third map of Chapter 5. The goal of this map is to make your way through the catwalks, ride up the elevator, and press a button. This both opens a door to the observatory room and gives you access to a laser needed to burn the pipes of the neurotoxin generator. Once you actually burn all the pipes, however, there's a fairly long period of time in which you can watch the whole thing collapse. It's really cool and all that, but for a speedrun it takes forever for the end of the level to be available to the player. The trigger to end the level is right behind the door, so if we could somehow make our way behind it, we could technically end the level whenever we want to. Now you might be wondering, how could a level like this possibly be broken? The player's literally trapped inside a catwalk with super tall invisible walls for the entire level. You're not going to believe this, it's actually... and some jank portal stuff, they both go hand in hand. In the observatory room lies a chair, and I'm not kidding when I say this, but this chair is literally one of the only chairs in the entire single player campaign that you can pick up. By taking the chair near the elevator, you can climb up very specific geometry using the chair as quite literally a stepping stool to get to the very top. By climbing the elevator door, metal frame, and invisible walls, you can make your way up to this metal beam. Okay, but now what? Here's where the jank portal stuff comes into play. Now the interesting thing about this level is that this is the only level in the entire game in which you can shoot portals on a moving surface, without manually inputting console commands. The developers also never intended the player to get anywhere near these portal surfaces, let alone enter one. Because of this, they aren't, programmed very well. The moving surfaces allow the player to enter the portal from much further distances, so if you recall where we end up after parkouring with the chair, you can see what the goal is now. If you can chain together a quick portal shot alongside some quick climbing with the chair, there's enough time for you to be able to enter the portal with some clean movement.
So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Hold on, something's wrong. Neurotoxin levels up to 50%. No, it's down.
From here, you can jump down below into the room behind the glass, then touch the trigger to end the level, saving roughly 7 seconds over the normal route. I know I keep saying this, but like how, dude? Like what? Huh? You see how specific these situations are, right? Like, one of the only grabbable chairs in the entire game, the ability to climb the elevator at all, and the whole moving portals thing just all connecting like that. Yeah, man, I don't know. I lose my mind the more I look into these levels, but there's still more to show. Propulsion Intro is the first map in Chapter 7 that's made up of 2 parts, with each part relying on speed gained from orange gel in order to clear gaps, find cubes, and reach buttons.
Great job.
Is what I would say if the map wasn't completely cheesed. With what I've shown you so far, you might be wondering, what wild and wacky tech is this idiot gonna show me this time? Second of all, just look.
The testing area is just up ahead. The quicker you get through, the quicker you'll get your 60 bucks. Caroline, are the compensation vouchers ready?
You can literally just shoot a portal to the end of the level while standing just outside of the starting elevator. Not only is it possible to shoot a portal directly to the end of the chamber, but the visible part that you can shoot on actually places the portal in the top right corner of the surface. Why is this important? Well, normally when you solve the puzzle, you have to rely on the orange gel to maintain a ton of speed through the portals in order to clear the gap. Since the portal we shoot is in the corner, you can actually just clear the gap with the regular reportal and speed from bunny hopping because of the room left over on the portal surface. If the portal we shoot from the start landed on the center of the surface, it would still be faster than just solving the entire chamber. It's just that it would take a lot more time to go through, reshoot it, and then go for the reportal rather than just doing it all in one straight sequence. But yeah, pretty straightforward. It's straight up just a portal to the end because of a small gap between 2 beams. A pretty interesting cheese, but I honestly wouldn't expect the devs to catch something like this. It's not like a playtester would just find something like this normally, you know? While this is very cool in its own right, I do want to showcase one more level that I think has such a perfect ending to a speedrun. Finale 4 is the last of the finales and is the last map in the entire game. It consists of a boss fight against Wheatley, hitting him with his own bombs and reattaching cores to him in order to corrupt him. After you do this 3 times, the ending phase of the fight takes place, in which you have to press the stalemate resolution button as done previously in the game. However, this button's booby-trapped with explosives, which leads into a 15-second cutscene where the player gets blasted back by the bombs. It then leads into the iconic part where the ceiling tears away in destruction, revealing the moon, and letting the player, who's still alive, shoot one final shot to end the game. Normally in the speedrun, the timer ends as soon as the player shoots the moon. But believe it or not, there's actually a way to shoot it earlier than intended. As you play through the level, the moon is inactive and physically cannot be shot through regular means until after the player enters the stalemate room. And of course, when you enter the stalemate room, the booby trap goes off and the 15-second cutscene starts. However, there's actually a very small window in which the moon is active while the player still has control over their movement inside the stalemate room. So if you could shoot the moon in that window of time, it would be possible to skip the entire explosion cutscene. How small of a window? Now, actually having that small of a window to press the mouse for a 15-second time save at the very end of a run is pretty daunting, considering that speedruns of this game are roughly an hour long. So naturally, people are gonna look for methods to make it consistently possible. And I'm just gonna say that the method people found to do this is so freaking funny.
They make me want to merge without looking.
When you shoot portals in this game, you have the option to either A, click the button over and over to freely shoot whenever you want, or B, hold down the button which shoots at fixed intervals. I wonder which option perfectly works in the scenario we just looked at. Okay, here's what the whole situation in one go looks like. When the sprinkler starts clearing the gel, you can actually just spam placing portals until it goes away, which ends up leaving a portal on the ground even though there's no surface. This allows us to both view the portal surface inside the stalemate room without having to run back and forth, and it lets us set up the proper timing for the moonshot. From this position, as soon as you shoot into the stalemate room, if you continue to hold down the mouse button to shoot the portals, walk forward, and aim in the right spot, you can consistently shoot the moon before the cutscene starts, ending the speedrun 15 seconds early. So when looking at everything, you can move inside the stalemate room. The moon is active for a short amount of time while you can still move. The moon itself is actually visible from the room. The portal glitch on the floor works at all. The time intervals for holding down the shoot button for portals lines up perfectly to shoot the moon for that small window of time. And the funniest part of this entire thing, all of it was theorized because of a dream that Kurziao had. I'm dead serious. It's like a vision from the heavens brought forth a 15-second time save that can consistently be performed. Anyways, that's all I wanted to showcase for now. I still have like a really long list of other quote-unquote perfect situations, which could be a future video or something, but I have other things in mind. I hope you enjoyed and I appreciate you sticking around. I stream on Twitch fairly often, so you should go look at that. See ya.